Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, the 24th of January, 2022, and I'm here in Quartzsite, Arizona. It's a beautiful day out today. There's one problem: too many people. And it's not so much that people can't spread out. There's plenty of gap between me and the rig next to me, but there's just so many people out here that my Wi-Fi is just saturated. So I got to drive to Blythe today so I can get not such a congested signal and I can do some work. So that's what I'm off to next. And so it's going to kind of put a crimp on what I had hoped to do here in Quartzsite, but that's okay. It's all about being flexible. So that's it for today. It's beautiful. We're going to take a look at that here in a moment. So it's working on a beautiful sunrise here today. And we're kind of on the north end of all of the Quartzsite encampments, but there's just so many people out here. I'll try and put the drone up before I go so you can get a sense as to all the people that are out here. And this is the start of the Big Ten event, so yeah, it's just going to be busy. Well, good morning, and it looks like I've found the location where I can telework from. It's a rest area that is just west of Quartzsite. It's more convenient than driving all the way to Blythe, because Blythe is another 10 miles out past that, so that's another 20 miles round trip each day that I don't have to make, so that's good. So yeah, I'm going to be teleworking from here. I've got good cellular throughput here, and it's not a bad place. I'll take a little video of the rest area when I take Remi out for a walk later. So here's Remi. As you see, she's wearing a harness, and there's this black cable here strap, and that's her safety strap, so that when we're driving down the road she wears that, and that way if an accident happens she's a little more restrained and safe. So, but I'm hanging out here at a rest stop right now doing some work, and because I don't have very good internet back at the camp, and so she's just hanging around in the back of the car while I'm working. He's a good girl, Remi. He's a good girl. She's a good one. I love that Remi. So, got to periodically take Remi out to go for a walk and take care of business. And so, just out here at my teleworking location. And very pretty out here. It's been breezy, so it's blown the air clear. There's warning signs here that say watch out for poisonous snakes and insects, i.e. tarantulas. So might be a little too cool for that, but I'm not taking any chances. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. So. But yeah, this is where I come because the cell towers in Quartzsite are completely saturated because there's too many people in Quartzsite right now. And so I come out of the basin there over to the rest area that's about 10 miles away, and I work here during the day. I'm gonna take the drone up for a little flight here. And you'll notice initially just some RVs right there in the foreground. But you'll notice as I climb higher and higher that you'll see kind of the community of Quartzsite. And you'll think to yourself, well, okay, it's desert. You're going to paint the houses light. The population of Quartzsite is only 4,000 people. But when January rolls around and you have the gem show and you have the RV show, they get up to 100,000 folks that come into the town of Quartzsite. And as you can see, as I continue to climb here, that there is white buildings, or actually RVs, for as far as the eye can see. All of that you see, with the exception of maybe, I don't know, 2 dozen shops and businesses, are RVs. that are out here in the city of Quartzsite during this early part of January. It is just phenomenal as to how many folks come out to explore this area. This is my third time here in Quartzsite, and it just never ceases to amaze me. There's more here this time than I think have been in the past, probably due to the pandemic. But yeah, people just wanting to get out of their homes and check out Quartzsite and their RVs. So we're out on actually north of Quartzsite, coming up on our turn here for Plumosa Road. And this is the area that Remi and I have our rig parked out at. And one of the first things you got to do once you get out here is you got to register. You don't have to pay anything, but you have to register, and that way they know when how much the area is being used. So we're gonna go up and register with this guy here. Okay, well, we got registered, and now we're gonna go back to camp. And so we're actually pretty lucky on this, staying out here in Plumosa. The other place that we used to stay at, we had to go in a long way in the motorhome to get a camping site, and we drove a lot on a dirt road. In this particular case, it's a asphalt road for the majority of the way, and a lot of RVs out here. They got their satellite dishes up. I put the TV antenna up, not getting a whole lot, getting like 5 channels, nothing worth watching, so I actually probably ought to just put that back down. But yeah, so yeah, as you can see, lots of folks out here. But there's so much land out here, they're not stacked on top of one another too bad. But it's a lot of folks. So we're out here at Quartzsite, and everybody's got their solar panels and their generators out. And Remi and I are out, and she's giving everything a good sniff. So very clear, pretty day out here today. One thing I figured out is that I'm not going to really be able to socialize with anybody since I'm working, but it's still nice to come out here and kind of do the boondocking thing. So there's rigs of all shapes and sizes and vintages out here, and just getting it on here. Also finding out that for my battery bank, I've got about the right number of solar panels. I might use an extra panel that I can kind of move around when I'm in shady spots, but all in all, we're pretty well set up. Well, it's Monday evening. It's about 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and just taking Remi out for a walk. Last night we came out, it was pitch black out. We couldn't see where we were going or where we came from, so we thought we'd do it tonight. Very nice out here, you know. You have the drone of the generators. A lot of folks that are getting dinner ready or whatever fire up their generators at night. But yeah, we're just out for a little walk, and gonna put my jammies on after this and relax for the evening. Come on, Remi. No, baby girl. I don't know what's back there, but Might not be the right time for rattlesnakes and tarantulas, but let's not find out. So yeah, one full day down here in Quartzsite. I had to drive towards Blythe to get good solid internet, but maybe I'll get lucky tomorrow. Maybe it'll be better tomorrow because there are a lot of people that have left, so maybe the saturation on the cell towers won't be so bad. So hi there, ran into something interesting today that was kind of the second time I've run into it here in Quartzsite. They're only accepting cash, which flies in the face of a lot of things that I've seen recently where they're like, you know, there's a national change shortage, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is here in Quartzsite is their network and cell phone infrastructure is built for only about 4,000 residents. But they've got over 120,000 people here for the Quartzsite RV show. So trying to do anything over a cell phone or a cellular network is next to impossible. But at any rate, I thought that was funny and thought that I'd share that with everybody. So there's all sorts of new RVs out here to be seen if you're on the market for an RV. And I'm actually just headed to the big tent to see what's going on in there. So there's the big tent where all the pieces parts vendors are, and so that's where I'm headed. Now, if I had thought about the fact they'd let dogs in, I would have brought Remi. So this gives you an idea of just how massive this is in here. And there's also vendors outside as well.
Why don't you finish your thought, man?
Out here at Quartzsite, it's my last day here, and I've been invited to another gentleman's campsite over here. He's a single guy also, and he said, "Hey, let's let's get together, kind of do some sort of potluck thing, and just sit by the fire." And I was like, "Hey, great!" So I have a good friend of mine, lady that I've known since I lived in Sacramento, Danny Christensen. Thank you for this suggestion. Had suggested that when she was camping last time, they did something called onion bombs, which I'd never heard of before. But I'm going to make one here this morning. What it is it's basically ground beef with meatloaf mix and some grated Parmesan cheese. That, and then inside of an onion. And so what you do is you take the root stem caps off. You then cut the onion in half. You take out some of the inner layers, leaving a couple of outer layers, and then you put this ground beef mixture inside of that. You push it back together, wrap it in bacon, then you wrap it in aluminum foil, then you put it in the fire for about 15 minutes and cook it. So that's where I'm at right now. I've got the root caps off, and we're gonna take off the outer shell. And then we'll cut it in half and we'll fill it up. So let's take a look. Okay, got it cut in half. Take some of this outer paper shell off, or the papery like shell, dried shell off of there. And then what I'm supposed to do is take out the inner layers so as to make room for the ground beef mix. Okay, well, there's one inner layer out. There we go. So there's a couple of layers, and we're going to put some ground beef in there. So now we're going to put the meat mixture into the onions, and then we'll put them back together. Okay, so we're going to take some ground beef. Okay. And then we fill the half with the mixture. But then that's what it looks like once I get the onion bomb stuffed. And then I do the smaller, the medium-sized onion shells. Wow, this is working out just about perfectly as far as portion size. And so there we go. I now have my onion bombs with the meatloaf, Parmesan cheese, garlic mixture in it. And so now we will assemble and put them in the refrigerator till it's time for dinner this evening. So we take the two halves of the onion bomb, kind of smush them together there. And we'll do the same thing with the medium size onion bomb. And then the small size onion bomb. Okay. I'm going to do the aluminum foil thing because my understanding is you wrap them in aluminum foil, you put them right in the hot fire, and then 15 minutes later you bring them out and they're done. So this will be an experience. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so right now we're doing the small onion bomb. Now let's do a creased seam on this. So let's try to keep the juices inside as much as possible so that it hopefully holds up on the fire better. Okay. And there we go. 3 onion bombs. So we will put them in the fridge, and then in a little while, we'll barbecue. Remi's been such a great dog as always. And I just wanted to have a few minutes to get out here and try and throw the ball for her. I don't know if she's going to chase it. It's kind of rough territory out here. Lots of rocks and stuff, but we'll see what happens. So there's Remi. You ready, baby girl? There she goes. I wanted to... There she is, and she's coming back with it. Yay, Remi! Yay, Remi! It's kind of hard to run on, isn't it, baby girl? It's kind of hard to run on. It's kind of hard to run on, yeah. You want to drop it? You want to drop it? You gonna drop it? Oh, good girl. Good girl. She dropped it. Remi dropped it. She's ready for another throw. Oh, that one had a lot of air to it. And she's got it. And she's bringing it back. Yay, Remi. Yay, Remi. Good girl, Remi. Good girl. So we're going to get a little off-leash time out here because there's just been too much traffic in the campsites. We came out to the day use area so that I could get her off leash a little bit. So we're just going to walk around. Well, Remi and I are taking a trip up to check out Dome Rock. So as long as we don't run into a gate or something, we'll check this out and see what it looks like. Well, I just talked to a ranger, and there's a point up here I can't go any further because people have been tearing up the access road, and they are not wanting us to go any further than a concrete marker up here. So he said he's going to watch me, and if I go past it, I'm going to have to deal with a citation. So we'll respect his authority, and we won't push it. But you know, nonetheless, it's interesting to come check it out. Well, there's Dome Rock. Yeah, that white stick actually sticking up out of the ground is what he was talking about. Looks like the road's okay. I don't know why you couldn't go up there. I mean, it is definitely 4x4 sort of situation, but they don't want you going up there. Like I said, I'll respect it since he can see me. So, because there isn't much of anywhere to hide out here. But it's again, you can kind of get a perspective of Quartzsite out there. Most of those white dots that you see out there are RVs, not homes. There aren't a lot of homes out here, only a population of about 4,000 folks, but a lot of visitors. I didn't bring any spelunking gear, but there's a cave here, and wasn't planning on going caving, and we're not going to go cave, but there's a cave here. That's pretty cool. Obviously it's been dug out. So, and you can see the Jeep down there and the campers and Quartzsite out there in the distance. And you know, a friend of mine on Facebook, who's not somebody that I would typically run around in social circles, asked me, why do you go to Quartzsite? What's the big draw there? And really the answer is different for everybody. There are people that come out here for the Gem Show. There's a big geode and rock show in early January. Then there's the RV Parts Show, which is kind of the reason that I stopped through here. Although this is the third time that I've been in Quartzsite, and the first time was probably enough, but the second and third time I'm good, unless I'm looking for something specific that only they have here. The prices are decent, but they're not great. But that's why I come to Quartzsite. But there's really a lot to do out here for the fact that this is a vast nothingness to a lot of us. A lot of people come out here with quad runners and go exploring around the bases of the hillsides, as well as those that have motorcycles and like to go dirt bike riding through the area. So it really kind of depends on what your outdoor thing is. There's also a lot of hiking opportunities down here as well. I went out yesterday and I was checking out Dome Rock, and happened to cross a cave, which probably was a quartz mine, to be honest with you. So, you know, there's a lot to do out here. Also, if you just want to come out and get away from people, that definitely works. If you want to kind of test your ability to survive with what you pack in and then also pack out the same amount of stuff, you know, that's another thing. I like to be able to prove that my solar panels on my motorhome give me enough energy to telework, and that setup works, and it does work very well. Except this time of year, there's so many people out here, it's hard to get any decent bandwidth, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that, except maybe get satellite internet, and that's just not happening. So at any rate, I would encourage anybody who enjoys the outdoors, who likes a little bit of adventure, to come out to Quartzsite and check it out. It's definitely a place to see, you know, and I don't mind coming here, especially if I'm just going to stop for a couple of nights. It's a great place to stop as long as you've got everything on board that you need. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and it is Saturday, the 29th of January, 2022. And I'm at a pilot truck stop here. Got some gas topped off in the Jeep so that we're ready to go for tomorrow. Of course, I tow the Jeep behind the motorhome, but I like to have a full tank of gas on board the Jeep just in case if there is any sort of problem with the motorhome. I don't have to worry about being able to travel some distance in the Jeep and get us to safety, get us off the highway. So do that as part of my my pre-trip, if you will. Also got propane tank topped off in one of the portable tanks that I have for the outside of the motorhome. So pretty much we're all set to go for tomorrow. I am going to go back and put the wheel covers away, as well as bring down the flagpole, and then we'll be ready to pull out tomorrow. We're getting ready to head out of Quartzsite here. Got pretty much everything ready to go. About the only thing left to do is take down the American flag here in a few minutes, and then we'll be all set. In the morning, we'll just fire up the motorhome. Don't really have to unhook from anything. So we'll get it fired up, hooked up to the Jeep, and we'll hit the road. So it's been, all in all, a good stay here in Quartzsite. The commute for having to get internet access has kind of sucked. But other than that, it's been a good one. So next stop is Gallup, New Mexico. Take care. Bye-bye.